In today's video, you're watching the third part of our series about songs that are actually cover versions and that you probably didn't know about. In this episode, I'm going to show you 7 more songs that will definitely surprise you. This is the Costar Hits channel. Welcome, and get ready. The video is about to start.
I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good. I knew that I would now.
When we talk about I Got You, it's impossible not to think of James Brown. Released in 1965, the song not only became the biggest commercial hit of his career, but also one of the most influential songs in the history of American music, playing a major role in popularizing funk around the world. What many people don't know is that I Got You was developed from an earlier song written by James Brown himself, called I Found You. This first version was recorded in 1962 by Yvonne Fair, who at the time was one of Brown's backing singers.
I feel good. Like I knew that I would. I feel good. Like I knew that I would.
The success only came when James Brown rewrote part of the lyrics and re-recorded the song with a faster rhythm and his unmistakable vocal style. That's how I Found You was reborn as I Got You, becoming one of the greatest hits of all time.
So good that I found you. So good, so good. I got you.
I Got You was not only a critical success, but also a massive chart phenomenon and the most successful song of James Brown's career. Beyond its commercial impact, it became a cultural icon, appearing in countless films, TV series, commercials, television shows, and even prank videos.
I feel good.
In 2013, the song was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame and to this day remains a fixture on lists of the greatest songs of all time, including Rolling Stone's rankings. The American singer and actress Tina Turner released The Best in 1989 and turned it into one of the biggest hits of her career. The song appears on the album Foreign Affair, which marked a period of renewal for Tina and further solidified her global status.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest.
The story of The Best actually begins a year earlier, in 1988, when it was first recorded by Welsh singer Bonnie Tyler for her album Hide Your Heart. The song was written by the talented duo Mike Chapman and Holly Knight. Despite receiving positive reviews, it failed to achieve commercial success. Tina Turner's version introduced changes to the arrangement and lyrics, and also featured a saxophone solo played by Edgar Winter, which became one of the song's signature elements. In 1992, Tina re-recorded The Best as a duet with Australian singer Jimmy Barnes to promote Australia's rugby league.
I call you, I need you, my heart's on fire. You come to me wild and wild. You're simply the best, better than all the rest.
Beyond its cultural impact, Tina Turner's version was a huge commercial success. The song reached the top 5 in the UK, peaked at number 15 on the Billboard chart, and became a major hit in Australia, where it went platinum. In several European countries, including Germany and Sweden, the song also ranked among the most played tracks of the time. Whether in movie soundtracks, commercials, or football stadiums, The Best remains a timeless classic associated with resilience, self-confidence, and celebration, and is widely recognized around the world.
I am sailing home again, across the sea.
Sailing, released in 1975, is one of the most iconic songs by British singer-songwriter Rod Stewart. It appears on the album Atlantic Crossing, which marked not only his move to the United States, but also a new direction in his career. The song reflected not just a literal journey, but also an emotional and artistic transition for Stewart.
We are sailing home again, across the sea.
The song was written by Gavin Sutherland, who, along with his brother Ian, formed the Scottish duo Sutherland Brothers. The first recording was made by the duo themselves in 1972, but it did not achieve success. Although many interpret it as a romantic song, Gavin later revealed that it is actually a metaphor for a spiritual journey and the desire to reconnect with something greater. Over the years, Sailing has been covered by artists across different musical styles, resulting in versions ranging from instrumental to rock. Rod Stewart's version reached the top 10 in several countries, but an interesting fact is that it only peaked at number 58 on the Billboard chart, despite Stewart's popularity in the United States. In the UK, however, it was an absolute success, topping the charts in September 1975 and remaining at number 1 for 4 consecutive weeks. A year later, the single returned to the UK top 10 after being used as the theme song for a BBC documentary series called Sailor, which portrayed life aboard a Royal Navy aircraft carrier.
I am flying like a bird.
The first music video for Sailing was filmed in 1975 at the Port of Dublin. In 1978, Rod Stewart filmed a new version, this time at the Port of New York. And here's a historical curiosity. This clip was among the first to be aired on MTV on its launch day, August 1st, 1981. Released in 1987 by the band Heart, Alone is one of the most unforgettable power ballads of the 1980s. What made the song explode worldwide was the intense performance by sisters Ann and Nancy Wilson, combined with an explosive arrangement that blended rock with pure emotion. However, the song didn't originate with Heart. It was written by the songwriting duo Billy Steinberg and Tom Kelly, who also created several other major hits of the 1980s.
And I see your true colors shining through. A virgin touched for the very first time. This is burning an eternal flame.
Under the name I-10, they were the first to record Alone in 1983.
I hear the ticking of the clock. I'm lying here, the room's pitch.
Heart's version differs from the original in many ways, including production, vocal dynamics, and arrangements. But the band's producer, Ron Nevison, went even further by making two crucial changes to the chorus. He altered the first line and repeated the final one, giving the song an even stronger dramatic and emotional impact.
I always felt well on my own. Till now, I've always got my own. How do I get to alone? How do I get to alone? How do I get you alone?
Alone had another recording before Heart's version, appearing in a 1984 TV series called Dreams, performed by Valerie Stevenson and John Stamos. Yes, the same John Stamos who later became Uncle Jesse on Full House.
I hear the ticking of the clock. I'm lying here, the room's.
I always felt well on my own.
How do I get to alone?
In 2007, Celine Dion recorded her own version of Alone, bringing a more pop-oriented style with orchestral arrangements.
I hear the ticking of the clock. I'm lying here, the room's.
Till now, I always got by on my own. How do I get you alone?
Alone was one of the songs that helped redefine Heart's image in the 1980s. The band, which began in the 1970s with a sound rooted in folk and hard rock, adopted a more complex arena rock-oriented style that attracted a new generation of fans. The song spent 3 consecutive weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and reached the top 10 in several countries, including Canada, the UK, and Norway. The global impact of Alone cemented Heart as one of the most important rock bands of the 1980s.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
If there's one song that captures the grandeur and spirit of New York City, it's undoubtedly Theme from New York, New York. Released in 1980, it became one of American singer Frank Sinatra's signature songs. With his elegant and powerful interpretation, he turned it into a true anthem, especially for New Yorkers. The song began to be played at major events, such as New York Yankees games and New Year's Eve celebrations in Times Square. Theme from New York, New York was written by composer John Kander and lyricist Fred Ebb, a legendary duo known for creating Broadway classics. The original recording was made by singer and actress Liza Minnelli in 1977 for the film New York, New York, directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Robert De Niro and Liza herself, who performs the song as part of a grand musical number. The song was nominated for a Golden Globe and in 2004 was ranked 31st on the list of the 100 greatest songs in American cinema.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving
living today. I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York.
Frank Sinatra's Surgeon reached number 32 on the Billboard chart, becoming his last song to enter the top 40. In addition, it earned him Grammy nominations for Best Male Vocal Performance and Record of the Year, and the song was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2013. Although their versions are quite different, Sinatra and Liza Minnelli did perform the song live on several occasions. Without You is an emotional ballad about love and loss that deeply marked the career of American singer, songwriter, music producer, and actress Mariah Carey. Released in 1994 as part of her third studio album, the song quickly became a major success, especially in Europe, where it reached number 1 in more than 10 countries. In the United States, it peaked at number 3. Mariah Carey's recording was based on the 1971 version by American singer Harry Nilsson, who, contrary to what many people believe, was not the first to record Without You.
No, I can't forget this evening, New York. Can't live, living is without you.
The song was originally recorded by the British band Badfinger, written by band members Pete Ham and Tom Evans, and released in 1970 on the album No Dice. Interestingly, the band never imagined that Without You would become so iconic. At the time, it was just another track on the album.
Well, I can't forget this evening and your face.
I can't live if living is without you.
Mariah Carey and Harry Nilsson were not the only artists to record Without You.
I can't live if living is without you. Can't give, can't give anymore.
Harry Nilsson was responsible for making Without You known worldwide. With an emotional performance and sweeping orchestral arrangements, he turned the song into a massive hit. It spent 4 weeks at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 and earned him a Grammy for Best Male Vocal Performance. Mariah Carey preserved the emotional essence of Nilsson's version, but adapted the song to her own vocal style, featuring flawless high notes and an intense interpretation.
Wise men say, only fools rush in.
Can't Help Falling in Love is one of Elvis Presley's most iconic songs and one of the greatest classics of romantic music. It was written specifically for the soundtrack of the 1961 film Blue Hawaii, starring the King of Rock himself. The composers wanted a romantic ballad that would stand out in Elvis's repertoire and reflect the tropical and romantic tone of the film. The song's simplicity and direct emotion made it a perfect fit.
You can't help falling in love with you.
You might be wondering how this song can be a cover if it was written for Blue Hawaii, and you'd be right. Elvis was the first to record the song as we know it today, but it isn't entirely original. Can't Help Falling in Love was inspired by a French classical piece called Plaisir d'amour, written in 1784 by Jean-Paul Egide Martini. The modern adaptation was created by Hugo Peretti, Luigi Creatore, and George David Weiss, who preserved the melody while making the lyrics and arrangement completely original. This blend of classical and modern elements worked so well that it didn't take long for countless new versions of the song to emerge.
Wise men say
But I can't help
Falling in love with you.
shall I stay?
Be a thing.
if I can't help.
Falling in love, falling in love, falling in love.
Even with the passage of time, the magic of Can't Help Falling in Love remains alive, constantly gaining new voices and interpretations.
Like a river flows
To the sea, so it goes.
some things are meant to be so.
Take my hand.
Take my whole life too.
For I can't help
Falling in love.
However, one of the most widely known versions is by the British band UB40, released in 1993. The song was a global phenomenon, reaching #1 in 11 countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and New Zealand, where it became the most played single of the year. Still, no version has surpassed Elvis Presley's. His deep, gentle voice combined with the classic melody turned Can't Help Falling in Love into a true milestone. It was one of the most played songs of its era, reaching #2 on the Billboard chart and #1 in the UK, and it remains one of the most beautiful love declarations ever turned into music. Which of these songs did you already know as a cover? Let me know in the comments. And also tell me which song you think should appear in the 4th video of this series. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Bye!